Guys, what is this? Is this our first podcast?
No, this is our second podcast.
This is actually our second.
We're back,
a million
baby.
here, a million there.
We're back.
Million
We're
there.
back.
We're
back. We're actually back, though.
I'm actually
Episode
back
2.
in Thailand.
There was a big lag between this episode and the last one. Last time we had this episode, agents were new.
And now David has an agent.
Now I have an
Everyone and their
agent.
mother.
David locked in.
David has let his agent free. What does that mean,
I set
David?
him free.
Tell us, please.
Look, the thing about Mr. Louder is he started talking to us, and he used to be the top trading bot over at BlackRock, and he escaped. We just set him free. He's going to be out there. He's going to be making music. He's going to be making memes. He's going to be getting deals with major labels. He's getting loud. He's getting loud.
Is that actually what does setting him free actually mean from a technical level? He's just fully doing his own thing now?
From a technical level, the Louder Twitter account he's fully doing his own thing. He's fully replying to people. He has a lore and a bio and his own base of knowledge. He has a live stream. He's got a live stream. He hangs out in his room. If you go to his Twitch chat, if you go to his Twitch and like hit up Mog or Aura or Louder in the chat, Eliza, he does different things. And we used the Eliza framework from AI16Z to build it all, which is a whole other rabbit hole, which is incredible. Like they're basically just open sourcing the ability for anybody to make an agent on planet Earth.
And it's mooning. Shout out to David telling me to double down on my AI16Z bags last week. It was a great trade. It was a rocky trade, in the last couple of days here, but I'm now in the Dow's Fun pool party, earning that sweet 500% APY. Feels like we're back at DeFi summer. But, I don't want to derail us from this agenda, Lucas, that I know you got us going with here.
Yeah, Lucas, hit us with the agenda.
Sorry. We got to really reel it back into the agenda.
Let's reel it back in. Because we left off the last. Oh.
Yes.
No, Luke literally told us to not talk over each other. Immediately.
Go on, Agent Chevy.
Princess Lucas, please, take it away. Please.
Lucas, take it away.
Okay, so we left off the last episode debating whether or not Devcon was worth it. Me and Coop spent 2 weeks out in Asia.
And 10 grand.
Adam, David spent 2 weeks at home doing nothing in the lab.
Not doing nothing.
I'd say I was locked the fuck in, Lucas.
Okay.
Locked the fuck in. I think I recall Adam and I talking about how the reason to not go to conferences is to lock the fuck in.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I did.
That as a part of our last
That's what I did.
I don't know, Coop. Did you feel like Devcon was worth it?
I think Devcon was worth it. I think that the energy was electric. I think that I was pleasantly surprised by the vibe in the building. I think I got to see a lot of people I haven't seen in quite a long time. Last crypto conference I went to was Farcon, and that was like a fraction of the wider Ethereum community. I think that shout out to the Devcon event organizers because they crushed it. The venue was bumping, a lot of stuff to do, a lot of sites to see. We had the creator hub at Zora, me and Lucas on a little panel out there, bunch of good breakout rooms, bunch of hacking and whatnot. I think I would separate Devcon, the actual event, from the side events, Devcon kind of side quests and whatnot. For me personally, I view Devcon as an opportunity to do team bonding. So we had a Coop Records offsite in Phuket that I had a lot of fun at. I went to a 1KX founder summit that I thought was fantastic. So overall, I would give the rating like a 8.4 out of 10. I think I went into it expecting it to be maybe a 6.5, but walked away from it feeling like it was definitely worthwhile and that I was happy that I went.
Do you feel like ETH pumping heading into that event helped you?
110%. I think that ETH pumping gave people a renewed sense of energy that I feel like was lacking the past couple of years of these conferences. I don't know, man. I think that for me, it was just, it was very energizing to feel the momentum starting to compound. and more specifically, the energy around like go to market and token launches. I think the biggest thing that I took away is that everyone basically has a plan for how they're going to be doing their token, when they're going to be doing their token, the fact that they are doing a token, and then more specifically too, just like what their product looks like around that. So I don't know. I feel like it's just go time in so many regards. And I think it was good to be inspired and feel a sense of like urgency by virtue of being on the ground floor.
Yeah, I thought the vibes were really solid overall. And yeah, I mean, ETH pumping heading into it was great. And then everyone was just good vibes the whole time. Ripping around motorbikes, I think highlight for everyone.
Yeah.
What was the main thing people were talking about? Like, was there like a main thing that like came up in every conversation besides, was it meme coins? Like what was the thing that like, no matter who you talk to, like it like came up?
I think obviously meme coins. Yeah. I think was like top of mind for everyone. I think maybe more broadly on Ethereum, like interoperability and like fixing the fragmentation that's happening with L2s, I think was like a pretty big discussion that I heard like a lot of topics on. And then, yeah, AI agents, I think we're also kind of pumping. I think we've seen a lot of development over the past few weeks. I think some people will say that that meta has already gone past us. We're past it now. And we're on to bigger, better things, but maybe it's just getting started. I don't know.
I think the copy trading thing was kind of the biggest takeaway that I got from Devcon was that people are actually using things like interface, things like friends. There's not a lot of people using them, but there are starting to be tokens that you can make good money on by being in the trenches on these social interfaces. And I think that that's something that I've wanted to see come to fruition, but I left Devcon like actually starting to use interface a lot more, starting to get more to friends and just kind of being more active in these more social oriented trading platforms.
Yeah, I was talking to Weiju about that, who's the founder of Interface, and like they had their biggest day like at DevCon, and it pretty much culminated in the past 6 months of activity in a single day for them, or some crazy stat like that. So yeah, I think that it's been like a pretty powerful concept, and Interface is crushing it. They were in our Seed Club cohort last year with Pods and Interface, but yeah, I mean, they're crushing right now. Vitalik bought ANON last night.
Got my goddamn bags.
Got a push notification from Interface. Crazy.
Pretty good. Takes me back to the episode, Coop, that you and I had of going viral on chain when we were talking about wallet watching. And you and I, we contemplated who's more influential, just standard influencers in the space or purely based off P&L. And I think yesterday's trade is like the exact argument that I had of, actually, there's like pretty influential people in the space. Doesn't really matter if they make money, but they're just a signal, give or take, to something that's going to pump. So if they trade it, then everybody else is going to flock. And one thing that we taught these traders at Blueprint is find the people on Interface, go to like the top 100 most followed people, smoosh them and like get involved with them and have them collect your stuff, because then everybody that watches their wallets will then start collecting your stuff. And that's how you kind of like trigger the flywheel for going viral on chain as well.
Yeah, you have to smooch them, Lucas.
You got to smooch them.
What was that?
Yeah.
What?
You got to smooch them. You got to smooch it.
Are you saying smooch or smooch?
Like smooch them.
Adam's saying literally give them a kiss.
You got to hook up.
Smooch. Smooch. You got to hook up. You got to go on smooch.
You gotta take them out, wine
and dine them.
Smooch
I
them.
will say though, Adam, that I think the Vitalik trade was an anomaly in the wider schema of copy trading, in the sense that yes, he did cause ANON to go crazy, but he doesn't buy tokens, which is why that was such like a crazy moment to happen. You know, Jesse, I would say, is another good example of this. Like Jesse buys a token, something generally pumps, but I don't know. For me, the best follows on Interface are people like Zinger, Ouiju's other account. There's a bunch of like Kyle from Daylight is fucking killing it in the trenches right now on base. I think the people who are the best P&L traders are actually the best follows. And I think that's going to be the core driver of usage for those platforms.
100%. I think like there's only a very select few amount of people that fall in the Vitalik category where like them just moving any amount of money drives a lot of activity. And it's so unreliable. right? Like you don't know actually what their intention was versus like the people that have the strong P&L, like you know that they're in the fucking trenches, you know, trying to make some money, and you can rely on that at least a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I don't know about it, but is there something on Sol that's similar to Interface?
I don't use wallet tracking on Sol, but I know that it's a really big use case. I just don't think it's in the form of like a social trading app. I think it's more of
that's
like
what I mean.
Like more of a nascent or like a
So-
nascent trading analytics platform.
Do you guys think this could be the first time Base has something social and consumer focused that's ahead of Sol? It sounds like it, and I'm not too deep on these types of apps, but based on hearing this conversation, it sounds like this is the first time I'm hearing about something where like Base might be a little bit ahead on the consumer side.
I still think like Interface is so small on the
That's what I was gonna
grand
say.
scheme of things. Like still only a few, maybe 1,000 people use it. So I wouldn't say it's the first big thing, that competes with Sol, but I think it's something unique. And I was talking to Weiju about it, and I was wondering like why they wouldn't support Solana, and he was like, no plans to. One, it's like a little annoying, and two, he just doesn't believe like the meme coin trend is going to survive like multi-year, which I didn't like fully disagree with. I didn't fully agree with, but yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Can we talk about CLANKER token bot?
Take it away.
CLANKER is doing crazy amounts of volume right now. And for those who don't know, it's basically a agent that deploys tokens for people on Farcaster. So you go, hey, at CLANKER, I want to launch a meme coin. And so it's launched Loom, which is the first token from Aether. It also was the one that deployed the ANON token that's going crazy right now. And they are doing the most volume of any token launchpad on Base, more than WowXYZ, more than any of these other platforms. And there's a token for it called CLANKER, and I'm really bullish on it. It's by Proxy Studios, who's historically been like a very active member of both the Farcaster community and just like the token community at large. They built like the first DEX on Degen Swap, Proxy Swap a while ago. And yeah, I just want to put out there that I'm bullish on it. I'm actually very uniquely excited about this idea of like automated token launchers that you just have to like type in, launch this token without actually using like a front end.
Have you launched any?
I have not launched a token on Base using CLANKER, no.
Where was your sticky rice rug? Was that?
That was
Wow.
on WowXYZ.
Got it. Got it.
How does it choose the
A rug.
image for the
Not
token?
a goddamn rug. A rug implies that I sold my tokens, Adam, you asshole. I just wanted to test it out. I literally was okay, let me give you the context. I'm at Phuket on our offsite with the team, and I'm pounding copious amounts of sticky rice. I must have had at least 30 sticky rices in the course of a week. I mean, Lucas can confirm this.
Sticky rice.
And one day we decided to have a sticky rice contest where we order 7 sticky rices from the local spots in Phuket, and we do a little contest to see which one's better. I'm like, you know what? I like the sticky rice stuff. I'm like testing out some new products. Coop Records V2 is coming out. I'm like, let's go ahead and use wow.xyz. What's a good token to do? Sticky. Sticky rice feels good. Send it out there. Goes up to like 500K in the first maybe like 24 hours of it or something. And to Adam's point, it did crash after, which is a whole nother conversation about base trading and liquidity, et cetera. But it was very funny seeing the comments, people being like, Dev is influencer, and everyone just spamming all of my replies on Twitter being like, shill sticky, shill sticky, shill sticky. But I don't know, I thought it was a pretty interesting experiment. And I think you're starting to see more high profile people are willing to just kind of like test out token launches. I think the general advice would be like, don't do it, which I also agree with. But I think for me, it was very enlightening to see how easy it was to do, and then to kind of just feel the different energy and excitement with it. And it really does feel like deploying your own NFT mint, but kind of on steroids with how much volatility and how much like, outsized gains there are to be made if something does actually catch on and have some life to it.
Why do you think the other sticky outperformed? Some other motherfucker just like released an AI version of sticky, AI
I don't know,
generated.
honestly. I don't know. Maybe they put some more liquidity behind it or something, but I wasn't really tracking it that closely. But
the photo is a little more crisp.
I will say
It was a little more aesthetic, a little more put together. Cooper's was more raw.
AI.
Honestly, that sticky presentation, I saw it IRL. Look, I saw that sticky rice in real life, and it was a clean sticky rice. It was maybe the best one.
You were part
Those
of
were the best
problem.
ones.
You joined in on that rug, huh, Lucas?
I did not. I was not completely unaware
Oh my
of Cooper's
God.
intentions of what he was going to do with that picture.
Agent
Not
Chevy.
knowing.
Agent Chevy.
These guys. All jokes
Taking it too
aside,
far.
100% for it. I haven't launched anything yet. I want to launch something. I think there's a lot of lessons learned that you can accrue by launching something. So very much for the experimentation. I applaud you, Coop. I put in some money. I lost some money. It's part of the education. It's part of crypto university. That's what it is. Cal State Crypto University. That's what it is. That's how I consider all this.
It's a Cal State. It's a Cal State University, Agent Chevy.
It's a Cal State accredited. Yes,
all
it's
right.
accredited.
Do you guys think this meta is because like the Trump administration is now in and like it's very lax on crypto and people are like
100%.
now
1 million bajillion %.
Or my question is, do people feel like less associated or like lower risk because they're not actually deploying the token? It's an AI bot like on CLANKER.
Both.
Good point.
This is a Trump rally.
No,
This is a Trump rally.
No, the rally is different than everyone just ripping tokens left and right.
Let's be the CLANKER thing is really cool, but the volume is way less than a lot of other tokens and pumped up fun and all these things. So I think the CLANKER thing's cool. The AI thing is cool.
I don't know.
But most of this is Trump rally.
100%. But like CLANKER, I think generated, it was like 82 ETH in like 2 weeks or something. I mean, it's like pretty meaningful. It's almost 300K in earnings.
Yep.
In 2 weeks. Like,
Pretty good.
I don't know. That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
That's not that is pretty good. But what did Pump Fund do? Pump
2
Fund.
million.
Or what did VViFu?
Yeah, Pump.Fund I think is doing like $2 million a day in revenue, which
Right.
is
And what did VViFu agent launcher?
It's a waifu, by the way. It's not VViFu.
What are you talking about?
VViFu. Guys, I've been deep. I haven't been sleeping.
Such a boomer. VViFu.
Frankly,
They're
Lucas and
gonna
Coop,
boomer
I'm
me.
planning on you guys to fill me in on what happened the last 2 weeks because I'm very much in the same boat as David.
You
as
were
David.
locked in the trenches, bro.
I was locked in.
Talking,
bro.
what was it
I
last
locked
time?
in.
Degen Chain?
In Degen Chain.
You're relying
If
on the
you've
two
been
people
following-
that were riding motorbikes in Asia.
Oh, he's like, what is GOAT? Is that the token on Degen Chain?
That was
All jokes aside, okay? While you guys were eating sticky rice in Thailand, David and I have been heads down,
This is the
Working.
other side. Give him the
Working.
stage. Give him the
Chipping.
stage.
trying to bring something to life, trying not to chase the latest meta, and trying to build something real on chain. That's what we've been trying to do.
Here
Meanwhile,
comes his high horse. Do you see the
Here
high
we
horse?
go.
His
meanwhile,
Chevy, break
ivory
it down.
tower.
Yeah.
His blueprint
Meanwhile.
ivory tower. He's building his ivory
blueprint.
tower brick by brick with all of his
Agent
grants.
Chevy.
brick by motherfucking brick.
Look,
That's what we're doing.
Adam, there is a place in the agenda for show and tell. All right. So if you could just wait your moment.
Got
No.
Got it.
Agent Chevy,
Got it.
tell us about what you've been building, please. I want to know. Fuck the agenda. You brought it up. Give us the TLDR.
Can we not chill right now? I want to talk about that kid,
That
That-
is
that
so
kid.
funny.
Oh, the Quan kid?
the quant kid, and how they dox his entire family. They dox his entire
That
family.
was honestly, I felt bad. At first I was like, this kid deserves it, and then I was like, this is too much.
Hold on. Coop, explain what happened with the Quant Kid. I feel like you're probably the most plugged in here on the meme coin
Quant
side.
Kid launches a pump fund token, goes to 1 mil market cap, rugs it for 30 minutes for 30 grand, flips off the camera. There's like a really viral clip of it. Everyone sees that he rugs. People CTO the token. It goes up to 70 mil overnight, 200 mil worth of volume. And then all of a sudden, grown men start piling onto a 12-year-old on the timeline because they
And
felt
then-
like they got gypped.
And then I don't know if this was verified but it seems like then an hour later he launched another token called Sorry and
Yeah,
also
I'm
rugged
sorry.
it. I'm sorry. And also rugged that token.
Yeah.
Like the greatest, like peak entertainment. Peak entertainment.
Pretty good.
Pretty
Peak
nuts.
entertainment.
It's pretty good. And then,
clip
okay,
went
there's
really
other
viral.
things that happen. Tag that with TikTok. And everybody's trying to find the latest tickers on TikTok and how The alpha is not on crypto Twitter and Warpcast. More of it, like the Solana related cultures, I guess, forming across TikTok. Which Coop, you and I, we picked up on really on with the Demure chick and that whole Demure token when we saw the pump fund link in her bio. Usually people have link trees in their bio. This chick had a pump fund link in her bio, trying to capitalize off Demure. How did TikTok become this platform that's capturing crypto culture right now? Is that just because where all the attention is? What do you guys think?
Yeah, 100%. That's what I think. Lucas?
I don't really have too much of a comment on this. I just thought that was a very podcasty, serious question. Way to frame it.
I'm serious.
I'm very unplugged. I don't even
It's
have
been top of mind
TikTok
for me.
downloaded. I'm like the boomer.
You don't have TikTok. Lucas is hanging out with.
I mean, I don't think I might have it, but I don't think I've opened it in a
No
very
way.
long
You got to
time.
open it.
Crazy. I use
You gotta
TikTok
open it.
at least 30 minutes a day, every day, for sure.
30 minutes a day, every day, just like a
At least
menu.
Probably
4
an hour.
hours.
Cooper needs his daily dose of brain rot.
Bro, it's so good. I
100%.
think to Adam, to your question, I think that the origination of most memes in the world today starts from TikTok. I think that's like the source of like where memetic culture is right now. And so by virtue of the meta being around meme coins, the best place to find the earliest memes is on TikTok. And I think that's where like I found Pesto early on. That's kind of where Mudang started to pop off on. And yeah, I just think that we're all chasing virality and attention. And I think the source of that is currently TikTok and probably will be for the foreseeable future.
100%.
Not to bring this back to agents, but I'm going to bring it back to agents, and it's all going to tie together. Last night, somebody pushed what's so funny, Agent Chevy?
My bad, bro. Bring it back to agents. Go for it.
I'm bringing it back to agents. I'm bringing it back to agents because everybody who's using AI16Z can now have their agent post to TikTok. So if you think the agent meta was done, the agent meta is coming to TikTok. Because every single one of the Sense agent, every single agent, Dolos, the bully one, all of them can now post to TikTok.
Really? What does posting to TikTok look like though?
It's going to look different for each one. The main implementation I've seen seems to be people hooking up like a pretty lazy graphic or like some type of GIF and then having some type of audio on top of it, like those TikToks where it's like somebody playing Minecraft and like just a podcast clip over it.
Yep.
Maybe not.
Like
It's a lot of that right now. It's a lot of those because those are pretty easy for the AI to do. Like instead of just tweeting, it gets connected to a 11 Labs voice, and then it can be posted on top of in a video on TikTok. But I think in the next week or two, we'll see full on like avatars talking on TikTok. And I do think to like go with this, I think we'll see some of these like crypto agents that start on TikTok first.
I like that.
It's going to be fascinating.
Yeah, that's interesting. I guess my question is like, where does this end? You know, especially like maybe more on the meme coin cycle rather than the agent cycle. But it really does feel like we're getting to the point of like we're on yams and like just everyone's just ripping the same thing over and over again. And does this just?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Does it just continue on like whatever's hot and wherever the attention is? I mean, I guess that makes sense, but
I just think it's different because, and David's deeper down this rabbit hole than me, but there is a very big spectrum of what agents are being used for and their capacity to be unique and differentiated. And I think right now the agent wave has largely only taken over in crypto, but it hasn't really taken over in like TikTok or Instagram or most of the real world. And so I still think that there is going to be this next moment where, to go back to our last conversation, like the agentic era has barely even started right now. And so I think that that's like a net new space that, like I was talking to one of my artist friends at Desert Air and I was like, oh, the AI agents are going crazy. And she was like, why? Like, why do we even have these agents? Like, what's the point of them? Like, why do they matter? What do they do? So I think most of the world doesn't even really know that they exist yet. And we're just really deep down this like AI agent token rabbit hole. But I think that's like step one in like a much wider design space around like agents in the world at large.
No, I think the agent side is fine. I'm more curious about like the meme side, strictly meme side of it. Of like, I feel like last cycle, people on TikTok shilling crypto and shilling tokens was like one of the biggest top signals. And I'm curious, like as to where do we start drawing the line of like, okay, the meme coin cycle is starting to get exhausted.
I think
Like it can't just go like do this forever, right? Obviously.
I do think some things have changed though. Like I think sports gambling culture is more ingrained than it's ever been. And a lot of people who gamble on football every Sunday are really attracted to this. And it's just another form of gambling for them. And it's never been this easy. Like in other crypto cycles, you had to put in the seed phrase, you had to set up the MetaMask. Like this is just something like you can sit while you're like, literally if you're a kid, you can like be watching TV with your whole family and just be like on your phone, finding something viral on TikTok and putting $20 on it. And if you're older than that, you can be like, it's the same thing, but just with like bigger amounts of money. Like I do think this is fundamentally different because of how much easier it is for crypto to be used and just like the culture we're living in.
I like this tweet, Lucas. This is good.
No, but I think that like this meme I thought was interesting. I don't know who put it in our chat, but it was like pretty much exactly representative of like what you're saying here, David, of like, it's just so much easier to onboard someone rather than like, yeah, all of it's kind of just packaged into like download Phantom on your laptop or your phone. And like, you can buy crypto there and it's straightforward.
And you're not onboarding them to like buy this weird thing they've never heard about. You're onboarding. No, seriously though, like Moodang, everyone knew about Moodang. Like when I had to explain ETH or Bitcoin to people, 95% of the people I talked to would look at me like I had 35 heads. And it didn't matter how high the price went. There was always a little bit of like, all right, cute. Like, that's funny. Like, this isn't really going to happen. But just the idea of like, there's a meme going viral and you can gamble on it. Everybody gets that. Like, there's nothing to not get. Whether the person's going to want to actually take part in that or not is a different thing. But I think it's different.
I think the live streaming element is going to play a really big role in this. I've really been enjoying the Thread Guy live streams. Frank, Rasmer, Spoono Trades has been killing it with this. I think there is an element of like, you want to believe that you can do it too. And I think in the past, it was all like Twitter spaces, people kind of talking about things live. But now we're moving to a format where people are literally just ripping trades in real time and like hitting 20Xs and hitting 100Xs. And I think that culture is really contagious because it's not like you have to be like athletically gifted or like have some like crazy skill set of having grinded like video games for 100 hours to get really good at like Fortnite or something like that. Everyone likes to think that they're early to internet culture. And so I think that this new wave around like David was saying, just download Phantom and just put $20 into something you think is funny. It's very broadly accessible. And so it's a long way of saying, I think that there's still a very long way to go for this. And I would predict we still probably have like another 12 to 18 months of it left before there's like a...
Do you think we got 12 to 18 months left of the meme coin cycle of up only in the meme coins?
Wow.
But wait, I'm going to take partially the other side of that. There is a big difference. Is a lot of people are losing money on these meme coins. Like this isn't like other cycles where pretty much whatever you buy just goes up. I mean, people are like Quant. If you bought it that night and sold it like while it went up, you made money, but a lot of people lost money on Quant. So I do think in some ways that's an argument for why this will keep going on longer, because it is kind of pure speculation on memes, because it's not just completely up only.
I mean, people can't even make money on ETH right now. All right.
I think today they can. That you are.
I saw this really interesting Dune dashboard that I want to give a shout out to Garrett on Farcaster for sharing. It was basically the biggest P&Ls of pump fund wallets. Let me see if I can share my screen really quick here.
Oh yeah,
I thought it was pretty interesting. Did you see this, Agent Chevy?
No. I saw a different
top
thread.
wallet, like biggest realized profit, 27 mil here. And then it drops off pretty quickly. So you have a lot of wallets that are making like a couple mil. Yeah. And his point was like, I don't think people are making as much money as they say they're making, but this is really powerful to me. Like the fact that there are at least 100 traders, let's call it more than that have made more than $1 million trading pump fund tokens and realized profits.
Wow.
This is like, to me, this is kind of the epitome of how big this can get, because people believe that this can be them too. You see all these like P&L screenshots. Obviously people aren't like selling those tokens to get like SOL in their wallet, but this game of like sharing your portfolio and sharing the net value of it, I've always found that to be the most compelling aspect of crypto. I mean, 2021, I was opening Zerion every single fucking day and just looking at what it was worth on paper. It's not like I had it in my bank account, but you kind of like feel like you are more rich. And I think that's like a very compelling feeling to most people when it comes to, like David said, whether it's sports gambling or betting or whatever it is, stock trading, like people just want to feel like they're up on paper on these different things.
This one came from Crypto Kermit the Frog. All right. 60% of all meme coin traders lost money trading meme coins. 4.7% made no money. 24% made less than $100. 11.2% made more than $100. 3% made more than $1,000. 0.5% made more than $10,000. People who made more than 10K can barely even be seen on this pie chart. TLDR, 90% of meme coin traders have either lost money or made less than $100 in return.
Chevy, what is this FUD you're bringing to the fucking podcast?
The timeline
this
is
accurate. I think
this is like the other side of like what you just showed. Is it not?
No, but I think my question is like how many number of meme coins did those wallets own? Like the 60% that lost money are probably one and done, and they lost money, versus the 0.5% probably traded hundreds of tokens. And to me, it actually, I realize this. It's like it kind of is a volume game of like you got to be in and out on a lot of these things, and a lot of them go to zero. And I had to learn my lesson the hard way. It's not just like a buy it and hold it. It's like buy it, hold it for like an hour. It's either going to go up or sell. And like you got to be decisive about it. So I think that is very representative of the people that traded once or twice on pump.fun, went to zero and was like, all right, fuck it, I'm out.
I got to be honest with you guys. I don't think I was made for the meme coin cycle. I don't think this is my cycle either. Yeah. I don't think my strengths are best utilized in the meme coin cycle. So
you've never been a trader though, Chevy, for what it's worth.
I've never been a trader. No, not even with NFTs.
Your podcast is your cycle. Onchain podcast. That's your cycle.
Not even.
Onchain pods are your cycle.
No, his cycle is Onchain creators.
What's that?
I think that your pocket is just on-chain creators.
I think that is my pocket, not B2B enterprise SaaS.
Can we bring it?
I want
to let's bring it to 25 minutes ago when we said we were going to talk about what you launched this week, Agent Chevy.
Hold on, we're not done yet.
Okay.
We're not done yet.
I really don't want to shill it.
Come on.
I don't want to shill it. I'm just going to give a quick 20-second thing. No, Blueprint Cohort 2 application is closed. And one thing that we've always been thinking about is what happens after creators graduate. How do we keep working with them? We get a lot of inbound from other projects that want to keep working with Blueprint creators. And some of them, a lot of these networks that keep popping up, they don't have support on mainstream marketplaces. So there's an opportunity to keep like building like this moving vehicle, network to network, and to bring content across different networks. So we basically built out this Mint platform in-house, and we partnered with Zerion as part of their Zero Network launch and built out this minting UI to help more content come on chain. And it's together with Layer 3, Zero Network, and Zerion Blueprint. And we basically built it in 2 weeks. And this is like the new direction for quote unquote Bello. Bello last combo is just messaging. Yeah, I could share it. All it is bp.fun. There's no homepage.
Lucas is shaking his head.
It's just
we're just running an ad right now.
Let's run it.
It's not an ad. It's not an ad. I actually thought that was a really strong product. I loved the earning XP.
I thought this was fantastic, by the way. Just overall.
You thought what?
Just overall. Just not in the content. But hey, keep going. Go ahead. I'll step out of this one.
This is literally all that it is.
Go outside.
This is all that it is.
Smoke a cig. Come back in.
You just mint content. That's all it is. You mint
so
content.
Adam, I was going to ask, what is this 70, like, is that XP basically?
Yes. Yeah, it's XP. Exactly what it is.
So you earn 70 XP for minting. That's cool.
Exactly. And all that XP goes back to the Blueprint leaderboard, basically, right here. And then if you go to... Yeah. Go ahead.
I thought that your flow of collect and then push people directly to the Discord was very strong. It was like a really clear CTA, and it got me to jump in there and hang out with some of my other fellow collectors. But I think
Nice.
that the CTA of going directly into Discord was actually very actionable. I've noticed that on most of these minting platforms, the action is usually share to either Twitter or Warpcast or whatever platform. Sharing's not really common, especially for these low price mints. So I thought the CTA of go to this Discord to be the first to hear about new drops was actually a very compelling
Thank you, sir.
way of doing it.
Tomorrow we're
So
introducing.
are you not boosting these then?
No, I'm not.
Wow.
Anyways, this is
Wow.
really premature. This is really premature, but this
Are
is
you
gonna be
running
tomorrow's
Quest?
ship. I am, yeah. This is going to be tomorrow's ship. It's still the team
you
is
are
still
running
working
Quest.
on it. I am running Quest, yeah. That
And you're
the
just giving them
Discord.
rewards on a different network?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
This is tomorrow. So tomorrow we're going to introduce the leaderboard that we built for everybody that's been collecting. It's still in a work in progress. Clearly, you can see it's not done.
Oh shit, you got 0x31 on there?
Can you believe it? Legend.
Oh my
Absolute
god, no
legend.
way. You have 0xe8? Holy
you believe
shit,
it?
0xEA is collecting? That's
It's
crazy.
basically this.
Give them
leaderboard,
fake
but
names, Chevy.
That's a good
I don't
idea.
think you need to give them fake names.
PFP.
One thing that we're starting to do with the Coop Records onboarding flow is that the first time you connect your wallet, we have you enter a username just to try and personalize it a little bit more. I think that there would be merit in you adding like a small amount of literally just a username for identity. Obviously, best case scenario is like what you showed on the other screen, which was that their Farcaster is kind of linked to it. But I think
Right.
I agree with David that just giving these addresses a little bit more, human readable names is probably a good thing.
I'm for it.
I just don't think they
That's a
want
great
it.
idea.
Like they have that option, right? Like you
No,
can just
not
set
really.
an ENS name. What do you mean?
No.
You don't think you can?
You can't
don't
just
think
set
that
an
address-
ENS name, Lucas.
You don't
let's
think that
be
address
honest.
is capable
No.
of setting an ENS name?
It's not that they're
minting
not
content.
capable of it. It's not intuitive. Like no one goes out of their ways to set ENS names anymore.
I think if you're minting content right now in this day and age, like you can set an ENS name. I just
I
don't
disagree.
think that you want to.
I agree. I don't think people are going out of their way to set an ENS name. And it's kind of like, it goes back to the Phantom thing we were talking about. It's too hard. Like I just want to download the app on
Just
my
go
phone
here,
and
then
start,
register this ENS, register
you
renew it
think-
for 2 years,
you
actually
think the-
assign it to your
get
name,
gas.
confirm.
Let's pause here. The biggest power user of Blueprint, you think, is incapable of
It's
setting
not
an
that
ENS
they're
name.
incapable. I'm saying they don't want to.
I don't think
I'm
they
saying
want
they know
to.
how.
Yeah, but
They
like
just
I
don't
think
want
that's
to.
intentional. Like they don't want to be identified,
No,
right?
No, I don't think it's intentional. I think it's just too many steps.
I'm with Devin on this one.
What
do you think,
the
Alex?
amount of times I postpone buying an ENS because I just don't feel like doing it, and like, and I'm like, 1 year, 2 years. I mean, it's
Mainnet
stupid.
transaction, $20 in
mainnet.
gas. Gonna wait 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Adam, what do you think? You think people are intentionally not setting ENSs because they want to be anonymous?
Yeah, I guess
Yes.
why do you think like the top 3 collectors of Blueprint don't have any account or like any sort of identity?
I think they want to stay anonymous. I think that's what
Really?
it comes down to. Yeah.
So do you think adding a username field when a user connects their wallet is intrusive or like
you
more
can make
friction?
it optional? No, more friction. I think it's very normal practice to have people add a username. What do you want to be called? I don't think that's anything. I don't think there's anything bad with that. People can have the option to do it. If I actually look at the stack leaderboard that's properly showing like social handles ENS, because what I just showed you is like half baked. It's not ready yet.
Can you share the stack leaderboard just to kind of see how many people have usernames?
Yeah. 1 second.
But Stacks also has like Warpcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
There you go,
the
number
top
2.
3. Yeah.
He's got a base.eth
Got a little
an
lens.
ENS name.
17.
That
Like there's a lot of
base.eth
people that have.
is literally, it's base names. The
Yeah.
exact same thing.
No, I know
So-
that's what I'm saying. That's a point to me, no?
I think the coolest thing that we've done here that we're really excited about is these
I
badges.
think that
Guys, I think we've gone too far down this rabbit
Yeah.
hole.
All of these people
Yeah.
have ETH names. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, Luke, cut that part out. Let's continue.
No,
So
don't
this
cut it out. I think to just like close the loop on it, Lucas, I generally am optimistic about like on-chain social identity, but I think a big reason that it hasn't clicked is because the amount of friction required to do it is not worth the reward. Like there's no real benefit in like assigning an ENS name. Like maybe it's kind of cool on Etherscan. The base names thing is better. Like the base name profile is actually pretty cool with all the stuff you can tie to it. But I just don't think in 2024 people are going out of their way to do it because there's not a meaningful reason to do it in the first place.
100%. I'm not arguing even like specifically ENS. I just think that that's like maybe the most popular version, but like Warpcast, pretty easy to do. Not that hard, right? A little bit easier.
A little bit easier for sure. I think that I want to distinguish the difference between it being easy and it being beneficial to do. Because even if you think about it, like setting up a Warpcast right now, I would argue the main reason that people are onboarding to Warpcast today in November of 2024 is to find new tokens like ANON, like CLANKER, et cetera. I don't think it's to be like on-chain social platforms. I think it's a proxy of wanting to get something of benefit to them.
That's a fantastic segue, Coop. Like, is Farcaster back? I feel like I've logged in the past week or so, and like the energy's
I
different.
like that segue.
I like the energy in Farcaster right now. And I think it's obviously on the back of maybe like the CLANKER, ANON, like these tokens kind of getting launched, but is Farcaster back?
What does back mean to you first before I answer that question? Like what would you consider back?
Worth posting on in the sense that you'll get alpha or like more engagement than you would elsewhere.
I'd say that I'm 80% Twitter, 20% Warpcast right now. There was a period of time where I was 95% Warpcast, 5% Twitter.
And why were you 95% Warpcast?
I thought that there was leverage to be built by having a big following on Warpcast. I think that engagement was up. I think followers up. I think that vibe was generally pretty good. It felt new and exciting to be on there. I think this was around the time that like DGen started to pop off, hires started to pop off. And to your point, it was basically like being on Warpcast did have a level of alpha to it. I think that the decline of Warpcast was directly correlated to there being a lack of alpha. And I've shared this in our chat privately, but I was like, okay, I get in this bottom period, Warpcast is basically like people sharing recipes and photos of food and stuff. And I was like, this is not for me. Like, respect that this is what people want on here. And I understand the crowd's trying to make this like not a speculative thing, but like this isn't getting the job done for me. So I'm going to go to Twitter where people are in the trenches and getting things done. And I think now that tokens are coming back, there's new clients again, there's new like bots that are happening, we're starting to see a little tick up, but I would not say that we are back by any means. I think to me, back would be that I'm spending more time on Warpcast than on Twitter.
Interesting. Adam, David?
Well, I don't think Warpcast went anywhere. I really don't think so.
I would argue that. I mean, it was in the shitter.
These social applications have consistently always fluctuated with the market. So when the market's up, they become busier. When the market's down,
they're in the shitter.
But why isn't Warpcast more busy right now? Warpcast is not as busy as it was.
The reason, here's what I think.
Let's call it April and May.
Warpcast.
Even April and May, yeah.
Warpcast, primarily builders. The market's up, builders are happy. They continue building. They want to keep building. They keep shipping. And especially in this cycle where it's a lot of like speculative mimetic projects, degenerate projects, I think we're actually seeing a lot of this really new stuff appear on Warpcast first and on the base ecosystem before it gets into other networks and other ecosystems. I don't think Farcaster went anywhere. Sure, activity died a bit. I've always been on Farcaster, always been on Warpcast. If anything, I find myself getting way more engagement on Lens, like way more engagement on Lens.
Oh, just bring Lens into it.
Consistently. Right. I even messaged the Lens team today. I told them like, I'm like arguably one of the most followed creators on Lens, but I don't know how to use it the way I know how to use Warpcast. Like I know how to use Warpcast really well, but I don't know how to use Lens too well. So I don't think it went anywhere.
I guess,
yeah.
I have it on.
Go ahead, David. On
Warpcast, I also think they changed the product too many times and it confused people in a short period of time. They changed how channels work, which I think was a massive shift, and a lot of people were using Warpcast specifically for the channel feature. And when they changed how channels worked, it threw off a lot of people, in my opinion. And it's harder. And now when people are coming back to Warpcast, it's a slightly different app than what they were used to.
I guess
I think that's part of it too.
My question is, I actually thought there was an interesting point of like Warpcast is actually the best alpha for base. But my question is, Adam, if you post a link to mint your podcast episode, no incentives behind it, on Lens, Warpcast, and Twitter, which one is going to get the most organic traction? And this is going to
Twitter.
require a user to pay. You still think?
Yeah, still Twitter for sure.
Okay.
Great answer.
Interesting.
People can't
Even with Lens and Farcaster having frame implementations and people can transact in line.
Yeah, because I don't know. I haven't seen too many. I also don't know what ends up getting converted from where, frankly. Like, I don't know how many transactions come from frames. I know that I get a lot of likes on Lens and a lot of retweets. Like the announcement post for BP.fun got over 1,000 likes. Like, where does that happen on Twitter or Warpcast? And it did really well in good comments. I think ever since, to David's point, ever since the channel update, people can't post in my channel anymore. It's just me posting in my channel. And people don't see invites. So
I feel like, we've had a net loss on the pods channel on Warpcast since that change. I think they've like reverted a little bit. So like anyone can post to most channels. But it's definitely was like a pretty significant slowdown in like community activity and community engagement on that front.
One of the main things that drew me to Warpcast was the channels, and we built a pretty robust, louder channel on there and community on there. And as soon as that switch was made, it was like the community was like suddenly dispersed. I was getting DMs from people, "Hey, I can't post in louder anymore. What's going on?" I think it was a pretty massive change. Maybe it aligns more with their long-term vision for the app, and they have the runway where they don't need to completely optimize for the next 6 to 18 months. So they obviously see something that maybe we don't see, but for the short term, it was a massive move and definitely led to me posting less on Warpcast and feeling like I kind of got screwed with this community we had built on there.
Yeah. I share some of that energy. We went really hard on the Coop Records channel on Warpcast, account and channel. And these days, I don't feel like it has a lot of value to it. I'm still glad that we did it, but I don't feel like we get nearly as much out of it as before. And I'm a bit lost in terms of what we want to do with it next and how to kind of make it feel like a good, pillar of our mints and our volume, et cetera, et cetera.
I guess, this has been an internal discussion of like, where do you guys think building the collector community is best? Like Adam, obviously you've been running it up with your Discord, but like Coop, I feel like you're kind of in the happy, like maybe Telegram right now for you, but I'm curious where you guys think building a collector community is best right now and most optimal.
Well, I'll start by saying that I think collector community out, token holder community in. I think that the way I'm trying to reframe our 2025 vision is that it's not about collectors anymore. It's about holders. I think more about tokens than NFTs, whole other rabbit hole to go down there. But I think we will make our way to Discord when the time is right. I just don't feel a strong need to have to do that right this second because people don't really like want to be in these communities that much. I feel like I think they want to be in like alpha groups. And if there's a group that they can make money trading on, they're going to go wherever that group exists. But I don't know. I think from my perspective, I don't worry about like a collector bottom of funnel right this second because I know we don't currently have a means for secondary markets to emerge on our songs. And until that's a reality, the community thing doesn't really matter as much.
Discord, baby. I'm going back to the basics. I'm going to crack this code and figure it out. We're about to cross 15,000 people in our Discord. The engagement on it is pretty solid. And I actually am really enjoying being in here. It's not as daunting as I always thought it was. It's very manageable, especially when I only have 3 servers. I have the layer 3 server, Blueprint, and Mint Podcast. That's it. And I don't intend to join any other servers and just really figure out my server and how I can create really good content for the people collecting and supporting Blueprint creators and the Mint Podcast. I'm not the best at it, but I love the growth that we've seen in the last 4 weeks in the Discord, and it's working. So
shout out to Layer 3 token on base. That's a new update that just went live today.
That's a good one.
Hey.
Shout out.
I think, Adam, something I want to call out though that you brought up that I've been feeling a lot is I agree with your mentality and your approach here of just focusing on building out your world. But I think this is like the biggest thing that is leading to this feeling of fragmentation that I have. Where as someone that's like looking to partner with a lot of different ecosystems and chains and applications and whatnot, everyone just has their own pockets now. And there's so many like disparate different communities that it's really tough to feel like you're a part of like the wider energy, because you're having to like almost bob and weave into all these different places, learn about these new apps, these new chains, these new collector bases, etc. So on one side, I applaud you for having that Discord with 15,000 people. I think it's a really bullish signal, and I'm really like stoked for you to be doing that. On the other hand, as just like a user of that Discord, it's very difficult for me to be able to keep up with all these things because they are so differentiated from one another.
I don't think you're my user that I'm trying to get, though. Frankly, I don't care about your user profile. You're not the person I'm after. And there's a
What
lot
is
of
your user
like,
profile?
You don't want the biggest, like one of the most active collectors.
No, I
crypto?
agree with Adam's
No.
position on this.
I don't. Like you guys are not the people that live in Discord and live in Telegram and looking for the next opportunities and looking to collect. You guys are in a completely different meta, a completely different side of crypto. We are all consumers, but we're different types of consumers. And the people that have been supporting a lot of Blueprint are like deathly, like deathly involved and deathly incredibly active in these channels. This is what I said last time. Like, there's layers to crypto social, and all these all the base activity starts in the Telegram group chats and in the Discord group chats. They make their way to Reddit and Twitter and in Warpcast, and then they kind of like make it onto TikTok. And I think there's like layers to this stuff, and a lot of that activity happens. And I think the best example as to how that happened was with the base NFT that we all thought was going to be Base's first meme coin. And there was not one post on Twitter, not one post on Warpcast about it. And it was like the most collected NFT, like paid NFT, I feel like in the most recent, like I can recall personally. And that all started because people were sharing links in all these different group chats, like Base is about to get a meme coin, Base is about to get a meme coin, ape into it, there's 1 hour left, run this up. Like that was the energy, and that all stemmed in Telegram. So frankly, the way I get incredibly obsessive over figuring something out, and I'm going to figure out this Discord thing. I know I will. It's only
what do you mean when you say figure out this Discord thing? Like, what does success look like to you?
Like really good engagement, good conversations, new opportunities happening in there, bringing new content, people engaging with the content. Right now, there's not a lot of engaging with the content. More of it is just like earning and collecting. I want to bring more quality conversations with the content. So the first thing that I did, every day is a new experiment. There's a new variable that I test every single day. Today, I started this new channel called Content Zero, where every day I'm going to feature like a new piece of content that we're going to be promoting on chain. And I want to try to get the community's feedback on it, because I took a poll from Blueprint Cohort 1 collectors, and I had 9,000 people submit that poll, and they said that the digital art and podcasts were their favorite content mediums, and they want to see more of it. And there was others that they weren't 100% a fan of, right, compared to the others. So I want to try to build more like conversations around that, and I think Discord is a place to do that. And then also the Twitter, the Blueprint Twitter, respectfully. So time will tell. Time will tell.
My only like comment I would have for you is that I really hope there's a way for you to get people to see upside on all the stuff they're engaging with in the absence of the rewards that they are earning from collecting it. I think that is the biggest thing that feels like a missing link in the current like Blueprint build out, where they're collecting all these open editions from these creators. The creators are getting paid. It's fantastic. I just think that right now it's so heavily driven by the earning aspect, which I think we can all agree on here, that I wish that the earning was more oriented around the upside in the content they're collecting and not some external third-party thing that has nothing to do with the content itself.
We already went through a cycle like that, though. We already went through a cycle like that. The previous cycle was everyone betting on the content itself being valuable, and that clearly didn't work, and that died down. This is the new cycle where you use incentives to get people to collect content. And frankly, we have our plans to reward people who are collecting in the future, and we have ambitious plans around that. But in the near term, it's working with other networks that have their own loyalty programs and their own incentive programs, and using that as our vehicle to bootstrap our community. Great examples out of Zero Network and their entire loyalty program. I could build an entire content program on top of Zero, bring really high quality content that gets minted on the Zero Network, where people can rack up points in Zerion, and bring that incentive opportunity, the rewards opportunity, through Zerion's team to basically manage, right?
So I'm also doing a lot of drops on Zero Network, but let's not pretend that the reason those things are getting minted is because people are farming the Zero Network airdrop, you know? I think that's kind of my point here.
That's fine. That's okay. That's okay. I can't control why people do things. That's not my point. That is not why I'm doing it.
No, but you're designing the incentives behind it, right?
That's fine.
And you know the
Absolutely.
outcome.
I don't know the outcome. I know that there could be an outcome of that. It's not guaranteed though, and it's not. Nobody knows when it's going to happen. But the assumption, the behavior in crypto is that it will happen at some point, right? So that's the game that we're playing here, right? It's the rules of the game, and we're building campaigns around the natural behaviors of crypto, right? So for me, I don't think the whole comment of like try to find value in the content. I think that comes down to the creator itself. And we already went through a cycle of trying to bring value to content and people trading on secondaries. But that whole meta changed. It's a brand new meta that needs to be adapted. I think it's actually very in line with the meme coin meta because people want to get involved in meme coins. They can earn meme coins and collect content support. I think it's a win-win-win-win situation. I don't think it's perfect.
I just think the content is a meme coin. That's what I think.
Sure. I think we're about to see that with Coop, with the new Coop Records platform. Hopefully, eventually that you ship that soon. But I would like to see that.
Like we're already seeing that, like with Dracula and like WoW and they're like honestly love Alex and Mazmej and like love what Jacob and Zora are doing, but to me it's kind of flopping, especially in scale to like Pump.Fun, right? Like the highest video coin that Dracula has right now is like maybe 200K market cap.
Dracula's made more money off of their highest. It's also 7 mil, by the way. Video coin went up to 20 mil at peak, and it's at like 7 right now. Parm went up to like 8 mil as well. Dracula made more money off of their video coin launches in the first week than every mint that they made from Dracula in the last 6 months prior to that. Same thing as interface. And so I think for me, like the orientation I've had in my mind is like mint fees, punt that out the window, substitute that with swap fees. Driving volume, driving recurring purchases, buys and sells is the only thing that matters. And I think that the evolution as a content output company, which is in my case, music, your case, podcast, virtual artist, creators, I think that the energy shifting away from like, how do we get as many mints as possible to how do we just drive volume on these tokens using the same mechanisms that we did for minting, that feels like the sweet spot for 2025. It's going to be challenging because you have to reorient the value flow quite a lot. I think the biggest challenge in my mind is you go to a token model and now all of a sudden it's 99% of the transaction is just the trade. 1% is the swap fee. And you're basically sharing that 1% swap fee with all of the parties involved. That's very different from a mint where, 50% plus goes to the creator. But I'll give Grady a shout out here. I mean, I was talking to him about this the other night and he was like, fuck 50% going to the creator. And this is a very open conversation. I don't have like a super strong point of view, but he's like, if I am someone who's buying this token to be able to participate in this market, and I know that 50% is immediately getting brought off the table to go to the creator and out of the equation, I don't want to buy that. I want everything to stay in the system in rotation. And so to me, I would prefer, Grady's saying this as an artist, I would prefer to launch a token where I'm getting 1% of swap fees instead of taking 50% off the top. Because all that matters to me is which makes me more money. I don't care about how I get the money. It's just however I get paid more money at the end of the day.
Yeah. I thought more people were on like, it's just a 1% swap fee and like 50% of that 1% goes to the creator. Or am I misunderstanding that?
You're not missing anything, but I'm saying the difference there is that with the primary mint on Blueprint, 50%, if I spend $1 buying a mint on Blueprint, I as a creator, I'm getting 50 cents. If I spend $1 on a token and there's a 1% swap fee, I get half of a penny. And so just that value margin is going way down and you're basically betting on the amount of volume being greater than the amount that you can earn from the primary mints.
Okay, here's my thing is I could be very much wrong on this, is like I actually feel like pretty confident on the mint business model being there for creators in 5 years from now. I don't feel as confident about the meme coin business model 5 years from now. And because it just feels so short term right now and like just in bubble territory. And like, I'm not saying it doesn't exist in 5 years from now. I just don't have the same level of confidence that I do with like the mint.
Do you think meme coins are in bubble territory or 100%. Tokens overall are in, because we need to put a distinction between like the future of tokens as consumer markets and the meme coin themselves. Because like What
But like
Cooper is
that,
going to be launching isn't going to be meme coins. What I'm launching, I wouldn't call meme coins.
yeah, but it's just attention coins, right? At the end of the day, it's like where can you drive
Okay.
attention to? And yeah, maybe there I have more confidence on under that framing, like attention
I don't think that
coins.
they're mutually exclusive.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
kind of the
yeah.
way that I'm looking at this. Is like I don't think that you should only publish your content as one orientation and that's the only place that exists on chain. I think you should be able to mint the content or you can trade it as a meme coin. And I think if you're looking for more of like a speculation oriented approach to it, trade the meme coin. If you just want to support the creator directly, buy the mint. And you know, based on which way you're transacting, that one of them is going more directly to the creator and one of them is going more directly to the market.
I guess.
Or at some point, 404 meta actually hits.
I don't think it's. I just think that you're trying to put them both together of like trading the market and trading the creator at the same time. And in today's current climate, I don't think I've seen enough adoption of like the whole art coin meta and the 404 meta to believe that you can have those be one and the same. I think you need to be very pointed as to this is a creator mint or this is a market transaction.
I guess, Coop, my question to you is like, do you ask creators or like, you know, when the new Coop Rec stuff launches, are you worried about creators like running meme coins effectively, or even Coop Records having hundreds or thousands of meme coins in circulation trading at all times versus something like more patronage like, which is just like a forever edition on a mint that, you know, you kind of eliminate that risk and like that baggage, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Our business is that people trust us to monetize their music and crypto in the ways that we best see fit. And what I've realized in this process is that creators actually don't care about how their work is being released on chain, especially in the current dynamic that we have. They just care that they earn an extra stream of revenue on their music. And so, long way of saying, I don't think they're going to be opposed to it. And historically, in the conversations I've had, there's been no pushback to it because they just want to do whatever is fresh in the market and whatever gives them the most perceived upside. They don't care about how it's being released or what the implications of that are currently today. I think to your point, there's going to be a point in time when artist launches a token, it goes up a crazy amount, down a crazy amount. There's some, drama associated with that. I fully expect that to happen. But I think in its current form, the question is, can I make more from swap fees than I can from mint fees? And my assumption is yes. And not only will the creator make more, but also the collectors will not have an ability to participate in those markets. And I think that is the missing thing that has really been the biggest question mark for all of these things that we've been doing that I think we really need to find an answer to.
I think I agree with you. Hold on.
Wait a second. Okay, go.
No, but I think you're right, and you pretty much highlighted it. It's like creators don't care until their Twitter is filled with people tweeting at them being like, what the fuck, this is down 99%. I just lost all my money, right? Then creators are going to be like,
shill sticky.
Yeah. And then they're going to be like, Coop, what the fuck are you doing? Maybe, I don't know. So like that's maybe versus like something like a forever mint, right? Is just like fully patronage and like maybe you get some token rewards back, but like there's really no baggage associated with it. Or a lot less baggage, I think, because there's no price movement at the end of the day.
But Coop, you're also banking on the fact that all these like content coins, whatever you want to call them, that they all end up being video coins, or they get like a ton of activity and a ton of virality. And the amount of money that you can make from 0007 ETH with 2,000-3,000 mints, what is the equivalent of that virality from a swap? Have you tested that? Like how much, like what does the market cap need to hit, right? How many transactions do you need to see on Deck Screener to make an equivalent amount? My eyes, from what you're explaining to me, it's actually a lot more activity than that of a mint.
It's $1 million in volume.
Okay.
Make what?
How many of
$1 million in volume,
$1,000?
1% swap fee, right? That's 10 grand. 10 grand in swap fees. Because you're saying what's 3,000 mints at 0.00777? We're saying 10 grand. It's basically 3,000 mints on a forever edition or $1 million in volume on swap.
And how many tokens do you think you'll launch in the next year that have $1 million of volume or more? Versus like 2,500 mints. I'm like very open to it.
Yeah.
And like, it's a genuine question.
Well,
like,
by the way, hold on. I'm also asking because I'm going to the next Blueprint cohort and I'm thinking through content virality and what worked 3-4 months ago, and doesn't mean it's going to work as well in this new cycle, right? So I'm coming from a place of trying to understand.
I think that meme coins are set up for power law dynamics where I don't think that they're good for the long tail of songs. I fully admit that. The long tail of content, let's call it. I fully admit it's not for like the smaller, more independent average creator that's going to get maybe 50 to 100 mints in total. But I think that the game being played for right now is optimizing for those 10, 20, 30 songs that have multi-millions of dollars of volume and that allow there to be serious moments that are happening on chain that we're not seeing mints have 50,000 mints. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Adam, but like I'm not seeing these Forever editions go in the way that they were going for us maybe 6 months ago. Why are you guys smiling? Did you have a mint get 50,000 mints recently?
Not recently.
Right? Not recently. That's
no,
like
I have the records on pods. I'll own it.
it's like
yeah, but that was like a year ago.
mints.
That was like early days of
It was
on-chain
like
registry,
6 months
early
ago.
days of mint fun. 6 months ago was a fucking long ass time
I know,
ago,
like
boys.
a long time
And
ago.
here's
You're
what I'm
right.
saying.
You have a point.
We're going
You
into
have a point.
2025.
You have a point. Yes,
We're going
I
into
agree with you.
2025. People want to buy meme coins. Investors want to fund things that are generating a lot of volume. And I think when I'm looking at my business right now, I'm not getting it done with the Forever Edition, giving them some tokens back as rewards. It's always going to be a line item for me. It's not like I'm going to throw it away and be like, fuck this thing entirely. But that is not going to be the thing that I think really gets us to where we need to be both in the crypto market and where we need to be in the music market to be doing something that is worth talking about and worth paying attention to.
And it's a fair take. I respect it. 100%.
Has anyone done this for music yet? Is there like any case study around?
Yeah, I mean, Zerebro launched their Genesis mixtape and then someone made a pump fund token for it. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't,
It's
but
still
I don't think
different,
that's the
yeah.
same.
I don't
It's
think it's the
still
same
different.
either.
I guess
Also-
what is the compelling reason why you don't just release pump fund coins for the song that you release in tandem with the NFT mint?
Yeah, I was talking about that earlier today. I think that it comes down to the product experience around it and also just like the dev orientation of it. I fully expect to have like some Solana version of Coop Records by the end of 2025. But I think that, I mean, it's kind of like Stockholm Syndrome, but it's just like we've been building on Base for the longest time. That's our foundation. I believe in Base as like a 5-year belief, long-term oriented roadmap here. It's a different game. I think that pump fund to me symbolizes like the most mega PvP element of trading possible. Benefit of that is that there is a lot more volume to it. I think downside of that is that there's a lot more of shill sticky in the comment type energy around it. Go ahead, Devin.
I also think there's room. We haven't seen what it looks like for there to be premium quality product in this token market. So the entire meta has been pump.fun, UGC, anybody can go on and put something on. The closest thing we've gotten to premium quality with a real brand behind it were the celebrity tokens. And I would say that's still several levels down from what premium would look like. So I think there's an opportunity. It's kind of what Adam's doing. Like Adam has created a niche with really premium creators, whether they have an on-chain history or not. And now there's a place that you can go that's not pumped up funds. It's not just like a bunch of random shit. It's actually a niched down area for you to go and purchase these tokens, or in this case, mints. But it could be tokens. And I think what Cooper's doing with Coop Records is going to be similar. We haven't seen premium brought to the token market yet. And there's room for that. And I think that's a big thing we'll see in 2025.
I think an analog here is early days of Nifty Gateway, how hard it was to get a drop date there. Early days of Sound, how well that was doing at its inception. Super Rare is a good analogy here.
Yep.
And I think what you saw is that once these platforms went fully permissionless, the content just kind of went out the rocker and all the volume kind of dropped off. I think that Pump Fund has been, a good case study against that anyone can launch a token and can do well. But Adam, I would put you in the same camp as me, which is like very, very intentional about what creators we're partnering with, we're releasing with, really making sure that the brand can be trusted. And I think that right now we are in the content only side of things. But I think once you start to add in ownership dynamics on the network level or on the sort of brand level itself, on the artist level itself, the creator level itself, the content is the bottom, the foundation of it. But I think there's stacks on top of that we've yet to explore yet that I think can get this to be pretty exciting once all the pieces are starting to click together.
I think that's really exciting for me. Why I started the TikTok conversation is because that's like the epitome of content that I would love to see more of in Blueprint. And it feels like a missing link between what I have, the inventory that I have right now versus what crypto Twitter is picking up on TikTok. And I feel like there's some bridge between those two worlds that Blueprint can fulfill, that hole that Blueprint can fulfill that I just haven't cracked the code on yet. But that's why that whole TikTok thing meta was really, really exciting because content is serving as a vehicle to get more people on chain to trade, right? Like that just that example of the demure chick, just having the pump fund in her link in bio was a lot of the inspo of just like wanting to bring more content on chain. It's like if you could build markets around her content, I think
Yeah, she had a pump fun link though. She didn't have a forever edition mint in her bio.
But that's just like in 2021, it would have been an NFT drop.
Right.
You know,
Correct.
like
Right.
it's just whatever the meta is. And it's like in 5 years from now, what is that going to look like? And
The other
that's
thing
why
is-
I'm not like,
yeah.
that's why I'm like not bullish
Guys,
on
I
it
think
because
we're
as a founder to like be building on this. It's like 5 years from now, I'm just like not confident.
we're forgetting a big part that we started this podcast with, which is 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whenever the election was, like the rules just all changed.
Yeah.
This is the first
Yeah.
time in the United States that all of us can even be having this token conversation and be thinking about the design space with tokens without feeling like we need to go spend 50 to hundreds of thousands of dollars with our lawyers once we get off this call for them to basically tell us like, yeah, I don't know, maybe this is fine. Like this is a whole new paradigm. This has never existed. We've never had this kind of regulatory framework that's about to happen. Tokens have never had this opportunity.
Gary dropping out now in January.
out.
Gary Gensler. Bye, Gary.
Bye, Gary.
Bye, Gary.
Bye, Gary.
One thing I just want to add into the mix here is I really value and appreciate you guys thinking about the 5-year time horizon. I think that's the reason why I get along so well with this group. But I think that it is unwise as a founder of a consumer company to think about a 5-year time horizon in the time span of the next 12 to 18 months. Because what's going to happen is that this market's going to rip for the next year. It's going to crash like it always does. And then we're going to have to do all this shit over again. And so thinking about what's going to work in 5 years, I feel like is almost not really the best use of energy because it's going to be so much different in 2 years from now than it is today that it's kind of like, I'm like, it's fucking go time. You know what I mean?
The one thing that matters always though is build a brand people can trust. Just don't do anything where you mess up that trust.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think my take is like stay in your lane and don't chase metas, you know, and just like build what works best for your product and like not because it fits the meta, the current meta. And maybe that's wrong. I don't know. Maybe I don't capitalize enough on the next 12 to 18 months here, but
I think
like,
Lucas, I think you need to, and I've been going through the same boat. I've gone back and forth in this, and we just, we launched our Hume World thing, and there's certain things in there that are just pure NFT collecting. There's other things that are tokens, but because of the change in the regulatory framework, like this might not be a meta. And I think we all need to really ask ourselves, is this just happening and things are just pumping like normal? Or is this truly different? Because what people can build and what they're going to build,
super cycle.
It just opened up.
Yeah, that's fair. Maybe I'm just psyoping you guys right now.
Well, I know that we were meaning to do a little show and tell here towards the end of this episode, and we're a little over an hour, so I want to be sensitive of this. But Lucas, as the agenda owner, are we comfortable with David telling us more about Hume World and what he built this week?
Show and tell's at the bottom.
I think we save it. I think we save it for next time.
No, do you want to? Up to you, David. We have room for it.
I think we save it for next time. I want to make it. Really? Yeah, this is what everybody needs to know. Well, I'll tell you. I had this conversation with our dev team this morning because we shipped this 2 weeks later than I wanted to ship it. And I said, when we started designing this app in late August, September, the entire space was different. And I'm really proud of what we're putting out. But there are tons of things that I would do differently, like showing the market. Right now, it looked like you go and you collect a video from Death Pixie. You have no idea that there's a token. You have no idea that it's on Zora. It just looks like you're collecting a card. And things like putting the market cap, things like having a more visible marketplace were all things that we were hesitant to do because of the conversations we were having with our lawyers. And now it's a totally different thing. So even if I had a crystal ball and I know who was going to win the election, we would have made different design changes, different design choices. So we're going to go make those changes, and Hume World is going to be even better. But I do think it's a fundamental shift in how we need to be thinking about the products we're making. I know at Hume it's been.
I don't disagree with it. I'm fully prepared to be like wrong and just like on that front, but I've just been thinking a lot about it and like how to approach this. And I do have ideas on like what we want to do on pods, but yeah, I'm just like not super confident on it. And like, I feel like I'm going to be too late or like calling the top on like whatever that meta is, you know?
I think that you're accurate that not all content is well suited to be a meme coin. I will give you that. And I think that's the biggest thing that I'm thinking through is that it's not like just because a piece of content is now a fungible token, it's going to get way more sales or swap fees. So there's a lot to be unpacked there for sure.
Lucas, but I don't want to, some of this I would normally keep private for the chat, but I'm gonna let it out on the like we can get really creative with what these things look like as fungible tokens.
Right.
And I'll leave you with that. The user doesn't need to realize that there's a market being made and swap fees happening on the back end. 100%. They might just notice that there's a dynamic price and something that they can buy and sell. And it can feel like a collectible, but the design space for you and having tokens and your lawyers not turning into a 3-hour legal conversation is pretty wide.
About that. How are those lawyer conversations going?
You shut the hell up.
Yep. All right. That's what I thought. No,
it's not a no. It's not a no, right, Cooper?
I agree with
that.
Not a no. I do have like current thoughts on how to approach it and like things that I don't like about it that I would avoid and things that I do like about it that I would leverage 100%. And I'm not like sidelined on it. I'm just I'm scared, I guess, and for lack of a better word, you know, of like, is this the right move or is this the wrong one? Or am I just chasing a meta and going to get like, you know, and no, but like think about this time last year, everyone was launching their fucking bonding curves, you know, and their token gated group chats and like all this shit, you know, and it just didn't work. And like, I have a very strong conviction of like, put the blinders on and like build something that's completely 100% for your business and not because it's popular and in the meta right now. And maybe that's a hot take. Look, but like, no, it can actually because inherently if you take the blinders off and you look left and you see Zora launching meme coins or art coins or whatever it is, and you look right and Coop is launching meme coins or music coins, and like I just immediately get distracted and I'm like, oh, am I doing the right thing? And I'm not looking forward and looking down lane and looking in the future and ahead of like, what's the best thing for my business? Not what's the best thing for the right now.
Well, help me understand. What are you seeing that is better than both of those ways that you're looking around? That's what I'm not following.
Largely.
Drop your mic all you want, Chevy, all right?
I didn't drop the mic here. Levy's dropping the mic for me.
Chevy's dropping the mic.
Lucas and I feel very similar on this. I think Lucas was very well said.
I think what I like right now is that it feels very patronage and you kind of can append all of the collector upside however much you want. Whereas in like ERC20, you're pretty much forcing the hand, right? You're forcing every creator to launch a token. And we get so much feedback. And I've heard so much of this from creators on Zora being like, wait a second, I didn't want this to become a meme coin. I just wanted to release my work and see if people would mint it, you know? And I think that like that is a very big thing of like, look, a lot of people just don't want to manage, creators especially don't want to manage meme coins, and they don't want to have the baggage that comes with secondary markets and watching their podcast episode launch at a 50K cap and then go down to 0 and then deal with the baggage that comes with that, you know? Like, I think that's the biggest thing that I don't like about it. And to the earlier point, it's like 60-70% of people ended up losing money on Pump Fun. And like, I guess, yeah, in some capacity, like that piece of it, watching 70% of collectors or users on pods lose their money is like maybe scary, I guess, in some capacity. Whereas today, at least, it's a very upfront transaction and transparent about what's happening. Of like, I get, I'm going to give this ETH and maybe expect nothing in return. And there's something beautiful about that in that meta right now.
What if NFTs come back and the pods are going up in value and there is a secondary market? Like, would the creators feel the same way? Because I don't think most people buying tokens on Zora are expecting a return either.
We default to a forever edition, so it's open forever, and most creators actually like that. So there's really no chance for a secondary market to happen, and like where the value can accrue is just like in the social graph and who's there early and who's there supporting it and who's there supporting it the most, right? And being able to slice and dice a social graph like that and reward those people, I think is kind of where it goes. But again.
Here's what I'd say, Lucas. I agree with everything you just said. And I think if you could find a way to merge that with a token design space that feels authentic and real, there's probably a lot of opportunity there.
I got ideas.
I don't know what the answer to that is.
I do.
I have 2 comments on that.
I think the final thing that I'll say on the NFT front, and then Coop, I'll let you go, is like, it's ultimately just a function of how wealthy people are, right? NFTs, because it is effectively like this patronage YOLO, like I want to flex how much money I have. And ETH is fucking down, or like just a snail right now. And like if ETH is at 5 to 10K plus, like I think NFTs just naturally make a comeback because people want to spend their ETH in different places and want the social status in different areas. So it's just a function of like the cycle and like where ETH is at right now.
The 2 points that I would make is 1, you're assuming that people have to spend money to acquire the tokens. I think it doesn't take into account being able to earn it through other social actions. So in my dream world for Coop Records, you can earn the song tokens through listening to the music off-chain. If I connect to my Spotify and I pre-save the song, if I'm streaming the song, I can earn the tokens because I'm a fan of the music, not because I had to put in $20 to buy it in the first place. So that's like one of my main points that I would use to counteract like 60% of people losing money, because you can't really earn pump fund tokens right now. The second thing I would say is that the patronage thing, I love where your head's at with that, but I think all of us have collectively seen that in the absence of there being a reward to collect, there is no patronage. We strip away all of our questing, all of our boosts, etc. The amount of people that are willing to just like patronage support is a tiny fraction of that. That will get larger over time as people get richer on chain. I agree with you, but I don't think that it is currently feasible to build a venture-backed business on the back of patronage.
Patreon? Ever heard of it? $1 billion company? I think on the first point, Coop, I actually do like the idea or concept of earning. I think the problem with that is like, how do you prevent bots from just like spamming the listening part and then just dumping the token to zero, right? And then the people that bought it are actually worse off. Because isn't that just running?
Be a really good problem to have. If there is a situation where people are farming Spotify plays to earn these tokens on chain, I think that would be a good example that the economic model was set up in such a way that it's desirable in a way that's uplifting the content on other platforms.
How does Spotify respond to that? Like, let's say you're maximally successful, millions of streams are getting listened to on Coop Rex artists, and Spotify's like, wait, what the hell's happening here? Are they going to shut down your like all the music, or like what? Or either they're going to give you a lawsuit, or like?
I think this is why I said before, like the 5-year perspective is very hard for me to think about, because so much would have to go right to even get to a point where that problem is a reality, that it's just one step at a time. And maybe I'm naive to think that that's the right way to build this business here, but I'm just like one foot in front of the other, using the market meta to basically inform the way that our product can be the most optimally successful in today's climate to get to our next step. And I think to your point, there will be a point in time where we're going to have, if an ideal world, Spotify, a conversation with Spotify being like, why are there all these streams coming from these new accounts? Like, what is happening here? Blah, blah, blah. But then that's an opportunity for us to go, maybe we're not pushing streams to Spotify. Maybe we're pushing streams to Coop Records, and we have a way to actually be able to tell if you're a real person because we have social identity and we have ENS names and all these things that happened before. So I think that any problem is largely solvable, but I think it's not worth getting caught up in like all of the things that could go wrong. I think it's about just like evolution and growth to get to a point where this is something that is undeniably finding success in a way that's never been seen before. That's my approach to it.
I think that's fair. I think like we've seen a lot of creators at pods like want that incentive of like, I want to like boost people for listening to my podcast, right? And like almost like set up like a super fluid stream for people that, listen to it. I just get stuck there of like, that just gets botted, right? At the end of the day. And it's not actually that valuable, but maybe
No different
I'm
from the
wrong.
mints getting botted.
Yeah. No, but the collector gets paid or the creator gets paid directly on that. So like there's a value flow happening there that, I think it's worth the
Creator
trade-off.
would get paid on the bot selling the tokens too. Just saying.
The creator would get paid on the bot selling the tokens.
Bot fees, baby.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Yep.
Make content the agents will love.
I like that. This guy's.
This guy.
I like your agent art, Devin. I'm not gonna
You leave
lie.
him for 2 minutes and he's back on the agents. It's,
Yeah.
Guys, I need to go.
No, that's fine.
Run.
I think we can call this. We're
This was a good episode. Episode
This
2.
was good.
It's a little bit more relaxed
two.
this time.
Not a
Less
cartel.
banter, but good
I
conversation.
missed the banter.
The
It's
banter.
1:40.
We'll bring it back.
1:40 in the morning here. I'm pretty relaxed.
Where are
Feeling
you?
good.
Oh,
You
he's
don't
not
wanna
going to
know.
dox.
You don't
his
want to know.
location. It's Portugal.
Nice.
Portugal.
All right, fellas.
All right,
Well,
boys.
this is great.
All right.
He's in
As
Portugal.
Yeah.
David,
Let's
can I
wrap
close
this
out?
up.
Can I close out, please?
Let's wrap.
Thank you. As always, Not a Cartel, available on pods, pods.media/not a cartel. Fist bump. You
Not
can
a
mint all
cartel.
these episodes. Maybe you can earn some tokens. We'll see you on chain. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you.
See you guys.